Many of us are spending a lot of time at home. Depending on where you live, we're either forced to stay in or we try to leave the house as little as possible to slow down the spreading of the virus. Gyms are closed anyway, and workout parks are perfect places to get or spread the disease, so it makes sense to limit working out to your home. Probably a lot of you are laughing now because you've been training this way even before and nothing changes for you. However, if you're not used to training at home, you have to deal with the current situation somehow and come up with a new training method. What makes training at home special? What can you do at home that you couldn't do otherwise? Number one, you can train naked. Number two, you don't have to limit working out to a specific time frame. There is a way to make use of the fact that we have to stay at home, and I'm not just thinking about having sexy time with your girl 3 times a day. There is a training method that is quite difficult to follow when you're working, but is perfect for when you have to stay at home. That method is called greasing the groove, and it is an excellent way of increasing strength in a particular exercise. It was created by Pavel Tsatsouline, who is a strength coach. He believes that strength is a skill and as such can be improved by increasing frequency of practice. The standard approach to strength training assumes working out in a single long sessions to put enough stress on the muscles and the nervous system to cause micro damage. After you apply the stimulus, you need to give them some time to recover and regrow stronger in anticipation for more stress. Greasing the groove technique is based on a different approach. Instead of straining your body to a point where it needs time off to recover, you practice the movement of your choice multiple times a day. This kind of practice focuses on increasing your strength by learning how to use your muscles more effectively instead of just making them stronger individually. When done correctly, this method can give you quick results, no matter if it's more reps or harder variation of the exercise that you're after. If you want to practice multiple times a day, the approach to training has to be different. Instead of depleting most of your energy at once, your goal is to use it slowly throughout the day. There are 2 rules that help you achieve that. First, each set or hold that you're gonna perform has to be around 50% of what you're capable of. If you want to work on your pull-ups, for example, then check how many can you do in a row and do half of that number as your set. And second, there has to be a sufficient time for recovery. The specific time depends on many individual issues, but the rule of thumb is that you have to be fresh before attempting another set. If you feel that your muscles are tired or you don't have the energy to do the exercise, then you need to rest some more. Generally, it is said that the rest time should be at least 15 minutes, but I would suggest having closer to an hour of rest between sets, especially in the beginning. After a couple of days, you can experiment with decreasing the rest times and see if you're still fresh at the end of the day with shorter breaks. How many sets in total should you be doing in a day? As many as you can without getting to a point where your muscles aren't fresh. Each set should be fairly easy for you. If you stick to 1 hour of rest, try to do at least 10 sets a day. It would take at least 9 hours to complete them, so you can see how being at home helps to follow this program. I guess some people have a job that wouldn't interfere with that kind of training, but imagine working at Starbucks and dropping down to the floor every half an hour to do a set of push-ups. You could use this technique to get stronger in any exercise you want. However, it's going to be the most beneficial for complex, multi-joint movements that use many muscle groups. Since this technique focuses on improving strength by learning how to use the muscles more effectively, the more complex the movement pattern is, the more potential for improvement it has. That's why bicep curls are not a good exercise choice for greasing the groove, but chin-ups are perfect. All kinds of pull-ups, push-ups, dips and squats would work, as well as all the exercises that are typically used to learn the more advanced holds, such as planche or front lever. You can measure your max hold in a tucked position, cut the time in half, and perform such holds throughout the day. Or you can do slow negatives. There are no strict rules for choosing the exercise. The only condition is that you have to measure your max effort properly and perform only at 50% of it. Since greasing the groove is all about doing the same exercise over and over again, you won't be able to train your whole body this way. Technically, it is possible to grease the groove with 2 or more exercises at the same time, but that could quickly lead to overtraining. I prefer to combine greasing the groove with typical training sessions. During those, however, I wouldn't do any analogous exercises to the one that you use for your GTG practice. If I'm greasing the groove with tucked front lever, for example, then I wouldn't do any additional front lever work in my regular practice to avoid overtraining these muscles. Greasing the groove should be performed 6 days a week, leaving 1 day for rest. At the beginning of each week, you're supposed to measure your max again and adjust the reps accordingly so they stay at 50% of your current capability. As for warming up, if you grease the groove with basic exercises such as push-ups, pull-ups or dips, then you probably don't have to warm up at all. However, if you chose an exercise that puts a lot of stress on your joints and tendons, such as tuck planche hold, then you should warm up and stretch your wrists before the first set of each day. In the morning, your body is cold and stiff, and it's when the risk of injury is the highest. After you overcome that initial stiffness, you should be fine without warming up for the rest of the day. And that's it. Stay safe and stay home. With a bit of work, we can all come out of this situation even more fit than before.